Democracy depends on a free press. Please support our independent journalism at democracynow.org/give. Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. A leading global hunger monitor is warning Gaza's entire population is facing a critical risk of famine, with over 500,000 Palestinians already facing starvation. The report by the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification comes as Israel's full blockade of Gaza enters its 10th week. Over the weekend, Israel carried out numerous strikes across the Gaza Strip. Earlier today, Israel bombed a school-turned-shelter in the Jabalia area, killing 12 Palestinians, including at least 5 children and 4 women. Meanwhile, a United Nations Special Committee has warned the world could be witnessing, quote, another Nakba, as Israel moves to forcibly displace Palestinians in Gaza and the occupied West Bank. Despite the ongoing attacks, Palestinians in Gaza say they refuse to leave their homes.
We will not immigrate from Gaza, no matter how difficult the circumstances, even if there's killings, even if there's bombings, if there's no medicine, no food, nothing to drink, no clothing, and no shelter. We are not leaving the Gaza Strip. If they are betting on our departure, no, the world might vanish, leave, the fish might migrate from the sea, but we will not immigrate.
At the time of this broadcast, Hamas is about to release the Israeli-American hostage Edan Alexander, following direct negotiations with the Trump administration. Alexander is believed to be the last living American hostage in Gaza. In his first Sunday address, Pope Leo XIV called for a ceasefire in Gaza and Ukraine as part of a broader anti-war message. The Pope spoke from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica.
I am deeply saddened by what is happening in the Gaza Strip. Let the fire cease immediately. Let humanitarian aid be provided to the exhausted civilian population, and may all hostages be freed.
A U.S.-brokered ceasefire between India and Pakistan continues to hold following the worst outbreak in fighting in decades between the two nuclear countries over Kashmir. President Trump announced the ceasefire Saturday. Top military officials from India and Pakistan are expected to speak today. During 4 days of fighting, dozens of people were reportedly killed on both sides. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's challenged Russian President Vladimir Putin to meet him Thursday in Istanbul, Turkey, for face-to-face peace talks. Zelensky made the announcement Sunday.
I will be in Turkey this Thursday, May 15th, and I'm expecting Putin in Turkey, personally. I hope this time Putin will not look for reasons why he can't do something. We are ready to talk to end the war. Thursday, Turkey. President Trump supported it. All leaders support it.
This comes as a group of European nations have called for Russia to immediately agree to a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine or face new sanctions. The Trump administration initially appeared to support the European proposal, but on Sunday, President Trump backed away from it. The Kremlin has not said if Putin has plans to go to Turkey Thursday. In news from Washington, D.C., House Republicans have released a plan for sweeping cuts to Medicaid to help cover the cost of $4.5 trillion in tax breaks for the rich. The Congressional Budget Office projects the $880 billion in cuts would cause 8.6 million people to become uninsured. Part of the Republican plan also calls for new work requirements for many Medicaid recipients. Senator Bernie Sanders responded by writing, quote, "This is what oligarchy is about. The very rich get richer, the poor lose health care. Outrageous," he wrote. On Friday, federal agents arrested the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Mayor Ras Baraka, on trespassing charges after he joined a congressional delegation to inspect a privately run ICE immigration jail in Newark owned by Geo Group. Baraka, who's running for New Jersey governor, was held for 5 hours. The Department of Homeland Security has also threatened to arrest the 3 Democratic lawmakers who visited the ICE jail, LaMonica McIver, Bonnie Watson-Coleman, and Rob Menendez. A DHS spokesperson said more arrests are still on the table. The ACLU of New Jersey described the arrest and threats as a, quote, shameful escalation of the Trump administration's intimidation campaign against officials who refuse to do their bidding, unquote. We'll speak to Newark Mayor Ross Baraka and Congressmember Bonnie Watson-Coleman after headlines. Mass ICE raids are continuing across the U.S. In Tennessee, over 100 people were arrested in a joint operation between immigration agents and the Highway Patrol. Advocates say the Highway Patrol is aiding federal agents in racially profiling Tennessee residents, intimidating people into self-deporting and stoking fear in immigrant communities. In Worcester, Massachusetts, hundreds of community members gathered Sunday to protest the recent ICE detainment of at least 2 residents whose arrest has provoked outrage online. Among other things, a video of the chaotic arrest shows police restraining the distressed teenage daughter of an arrested woman, pushing the girl's face to the ground as she screamed. There are mounting reports of ICE raids in California, including in farm worker towns like Oxnard, where federal agents last week surrounded an undocumented father and his 2 children in a truck before detaining the father, forcing him to leave his children behind. This all comes as judges warn Trump's mass deportation plans are eroding due process and other fundamental rights. Reagan-appointed U.S. District Judge J. Harvey Wilkinson warned, quote, if today the executive claims the right to deport without due process and in disregard of court orders, what assurance will there be tomorrow that it will not deport American citizens, then disclaim responsibility to bring them home, unquote. In related news, Democratic lawmakers and a number of legal experts have sharply criticized the Trump administration for threatening to suspend habeas corpus, the right of a person to challenge their detention in court. Trump advisor Stephen Miller made the threat Friday.
The Constitution is clear, and that, of course, is the supreme law of the land, that the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So I would say that's an option we're actively looking at. Look, a lot of it depends on whether the courts do the right thing or not.
Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy responded by saying, quote, the slope to despotism can be slippery and quick, unquote. Rumeysa Ozturk, the Tufts University PhD student and Fulbright scholar who was abducted near her home by immigration agents in March, has been released from an ICE jail in Louisiana and returned to Boston. Rumeysa Ozturk, a Turkish national, was targeted for co-writing a student article in Tufts newspaper as a response to Gaza solidarity protests. She spoke Saturday from Boston's Logan International Airport, flanked by her lawyers and Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey, as well as Congressmember Ayanna Pressley.
America is the greatest democracy in the world, and I believe in those values that we share. I have faith in the American system of justice. This has been a very difficult time for me, for my community at Tufts, at Turkey. But I'm so grateful for all the support, kindness, and care.
Rumeysa Ozturk was held for 6 weeks in Louisiana. The Vermont judge who ordered Rumeysa Ozturk to be released on bail will now rule on whether her detention by ICE was illegal. Columbia University has suspended some 65 students who took part in a Palestinian solidarity protest at Butler Library last week. In addition, the university barred from campus another 33 people who took part in the action, including Columbia alumna and students from Barnard. Police were called in to violently crack down on the student activists, resulting in multiple protester injuries. Meanwhile, the University of Washington suspended 21 students who protested their school's ties with weapons maker Boeing. But despite the intensifying repression from schools, students are continuing their actions. At Yale, at least 6 students have launched a hunger strike demanding Yale divest from Israel and protect free speech on campus. Students at UCLA have also launched a hunger strike, joining students at other schools in California. This is Palestinian UCLA student Maya Abdallah.
To the people of Gaza, I want you to know that the students have not and will not give up, and we will not stop until Palestine is free.
The United States and China have agreed to de-escalate their trade war and to slash their reciprocal tariffs by 115% for the next 90 days. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent spoke in Switzerland, where the U.S. engaged in high-level talks with China.
The consensus from both delegations this weekend is neither side wants a decoupling. And what had occurred with these very high tariffs, as Ambassador Greer said, was the equivalent of an embargo, and neither side wants that.
President Trump has confirmed reports that the royal family of Qatar may soon give him a $400 million luxury 747 plane known as the Flying Palace to replace Air Force One temporarily. ABC News reports the plane may be the most valuable gift ever given to the United States from a foreign government. According to multiple press reports, the plane would be initially given to the Air Force, which will need to refurbish the plane, which will cost millions. The plane will later be donated to President Trump's presidential library, meaning Trump could continue using the plane after leaving office. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer denounced the gift, writing on social media, quote, "Nothing says America first like Air Force One, brought to you by Qatar. It's not just bribery, it's premium foreign influence with extra legroom," unquote. Reports of the deal come as President Trump prepares to head to the Middle East to visit Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and United Arab Emirates. The Kurdish militant group, the PKK, has announced it'll formally disarm and end a 40-year armed struggle against Turkey. PKK leaders formally voted to disband following a call in February by its jailed leader, Abdullah Öcalan, to lay down arms. Since 1984, fighting between Turkey and the PKK has killed more than 40,000 people. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, more than 100 people have died in severe flooding in the eastern part of the DRC. Most of the victims were children and elderly people. In Sudan, attacks by the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces killed at least 33 people in recent days. On Friday, an air attack killed 14 members of the same family in Darfur. On Saturday, the RSF struck a prison in El Obeid, killing at least 19 people. A group of 49 white South Africans are set to arrive today in the United States after being granted refugee status by the Trump administration, which has suspended refugee resettlement for almost everyone else in the world. The Trump administration claims white Afrikaners face racial discrimination, even though South Africa's white minorities still own the vast majority of farmland decades after the end of apartheid rule. The South African-born Trump advisor, the richest man in the world, multi-billionaire Elon Musk, has even accused South Africa's government of promoting what he calls white genocide. Musk's grandfather moved his family to South Africa after embracing the country's apartheid system. In Mexico City, mothers and relatives of disappeared people marked Mother's Day by marching in Mexico City to demand justice for more than 124,000 people who remain unaccounted for in Mexico. This is a mother named Veronica Campos.
I'm searching for my son. I came here because I'm missing my son, Jose Antonio. I cannot celebrate when my son is missing.
And Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is warning flights could be disrupted across the United States as major problems continue at Newark Liberty International Airport. On Sunday, backup air traffic control system momentarily failed again at Newark. It was the third system outage in less than 2 weeks. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. Democracy Now! Is funded by viewers like you. Please give today at democracynow.org/give.